my name's Dan, welcome back to The Forge. In this episode of Trust Me, I'm a blacksmith. We're making hammer tongs and pickup tongs. Okay, these two types of tongs are basically the same. They're the same measurements, they're the same forging processes until you get to the nibs, at which point they differ. Okay, so you'll have just watched me draw out these 6 tong blanks. Now, these is going to make me 3 pairs. I need 4 pairs, and the 4th pair I'm going to do by hand. I'm going to show you in a lot of detail how to make the carcass or the chassis of the tong blank. I'm going to go over some important details about tong making in general, and then the video will split into 2 pieces at the end, and you can either choose to see the pickup tong or the hammer tong. Now, this is our stock. It is a 4140, at least I think so, as it is recycled forklift truck tine. I forged it down into 16 square bar, which is 5/8 square, and it's about 170 millimeters in length, or 6 inches and 3/4. I've marked up 45 millimeters from one end and put a center dot mark. That is 1 inch and 3/4. Roughly, anywhere around here roughly is good. This is a 3 set down technique to do this. So we're going to be making the nib, the hinge plate, or the boss, and then we're going to draw out the reins. There are 3 set down, or our 3 initial set downs, and then we'll go in later on and talk about how the tongs should look and how to make them. We're going to find our first centre dot mark. I'm going to place that on the anvil, the centre dot. I'm going to tip this back at an angle, and I put our set down in. Now, before I go any further, I just want to talk about heat. This is too cold to be doing any serious forging. And that's another thing that I think a lot of people get wrong, is what sort of temperature is forging temperature. Okay, so this is a dull orange now, maybe even a red. And yes, you can move the material, but this is too cold. This is going to cost calories and time that you don't have. So I'm going to put this back in the fire. This is our first set down, right on the center dot there, and I'm going to come in about half the material thickness. Okay, so I'm going to just work up the length of the material, and I'll try and take all of the material down to about half its thickness. If it's a little bit bigger than that, it doesn't matter at this point in time. People get really stressed out about how it looks and how much material they've shifted for mediocre tasks. This is simply a material movement exercise. We want to put a set down in, create the set down, and push that material to create our nib. The next step is to come over and do our set down for the hinge plate or the boss. Okay, this is our second set down of the 3. I'm going to come in at a 45, and then I'm going to lift the material up again at that 30 degrees. I'm going to set in a fuller. Use the edge of the anvil on the far side of the anvil like a fuller. Okay, I'm going to create myself a set down there. And the same again, I'm going to come over to this side, the near side of the anvil, and bring myself in another fuller there, round side of the hammer, and dress that back in. And then I'm just going to come over, flatten my hammer again, and tidy everything up. Again, half the thickness, just moving material, I'm not doing anything else, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this hot again and just tidy everything up. You can do with going a touch thinner. Okay, same again. Bring that material down. That's probably far enough now. I don't want to go any more than that. Go too thin. Just going to get that back to section. Cool, lovely. That's my 3rd set now. I'm just going to turn this round. I'm going to put this in the fire the other way round so I can draw the rest of these reins out. Not the reins out, just draw this out so it's a similar size. And then I'll be back with you. Okay, 25mm from the nib. Now I like to go from where the radius starts in the bottom of the nib and then come back in line with this 25mm inch line that I've got on the anvil. Again, bit of an angle to put this in. I'm hitting half on, half off the anvil, like with all these set downs. Get that material back in there. Just like so. Okay, so that's plenty to start with. I'm going to draw the rest of the rein out and then move on to the next step. Okay, drawing out. This brings me on to my second point about tong making and issues that people have. People see, it's like people see attractive, healthy human beings on Instagram and they go, oh, I want to be like that, and start fantasizing about how they could be super lean or be very attractive or whatever. And the same thing is happening with tong making on Instagram, or tool making in general. If you're trying to sell tools in that market, yeah, they've got to look posh, they've got to look real smart. However, if you're making tongs for yourself, as long as they're comfortable and they work and they do the job, they do not have to look like they were drop forged every single time. That's something that comes with time and practice. If these are your first pair of tongs and they don't look super slick and super smart and they're not all lumpy, they're all lumpy bumpy, it doesn't matter. They've got to work. That's the main point. Okay, so I'm using the Bic here to draw out my stock. And I'm working along the whole length, using the flat side of my hammer. Now I'm sort of squeezing it along like a tube of toothpaste. There are lots of techniques to drawing out. You could do this on the anvil face, it will just take a little bit longer. £2.5 hammer here. I think that's the second heat. I'm not working particularly fast. Just getting all those high spots out. Making sure it stays relatively straight as we go down. Too cold now, I'm just finding some of those bigger lumps. Okay, I'm going to continue to draw the rest of this out and then I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to get the nib nice and warm, and what I'm going to start doing is sending the hinge plate back in to create a lodging shape. This does two things. It creates a nice area where the boss is a bit more evenly uniformed in shape, but also it puts a nice offset in the tongs that wasn't there before. This needs a bit more work, so I'm going to get on with that. Okay, so if this was a tong making class, what I would normally do is do one half, send you guys and girls away to make the other half of the tong, and then I would wait until everyone had made one half, or as many halves as they could in the time allotted. And proceed to do the second half, but as a whole demo, instead of breaking it down into pieces, just do work until the heat runs out. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to set this first nib down. Set down number one. Not really bothered about the shape all that much, just getting the right amount of material removed. Work all four sides. Okay, happy with that. I'm going to do this second set down. 45, I'm holding it up at a bit of an angle. Take advantage of the edge of the anvil on the far side. We're going to go down to about half the thickness. Again, same thing again applies. What we're trying to do here is shift a bit of steel. Yeah, cool. Lovely, far too cold. I'm going to get this back on the fire. Okay, second heat. So you're going to just bring some of that material width down here, using the flat side of my hammer on the flat anvil. About half the thickness I want to get rid of. Square everything back off nicely. Like so. Okay, heat number 3. I just need to tidy this material up before I do the third set down. Okay, nice. So I'm going to turn this back around again and come in for this third set down. Curve of the bottom of the nib at the edge of the anvil, 25mm, inch, line that all up. Bit of an angle, have a look, that looks nice to me. Half on, half off the anvil close. Turn that back down, a bit more. Turn that back around again. I'm going to try and be a bit greedy here. That round side of that hammer just to take it off a bit greedy. Right, another heat. Okay, good heat here, come over the pick. Start drawing this rein out. Round side of my hammer, flat side of my hammer, just going to take that thickness back in. Flat side again, I'm just going to drop everything out this time. Get that bit in. Straighten this end out. Right, a couple more of those. Just finish this rein. Get a bit wonky this, so initially I'm just going to come up onto the anvil. Square it back up again. Using all of my hammer, big long swings. Okay, nice. Okay, take these corners off. So just turn this round in the fire. Finish off. The part where the rein goes into the nib. Straighten everything up. No. One of the nice things about gas forge, but at the same time one of the bad things about a gas forge when you're making, not that I'm doing these in a gas forge, but when you are doing it in a gas forge, so much gets hot. So if you want to do something like straightening up that hinge there, it's very hard to do because the reins end up moving because they end up getting hot and all sorts of things. So yeah, whereas that's quite useful at the beginning of this project. At this part it becomes a bit more difficult, especially for this next heat. Right, just going to finish this hinge off and then we'll move on to the next section. Come in on this edge. take this nib so that it becomes lodging shaped, like so. It's going to kick it off a little bit, and I'm going to come up onto the flat of the anvil then. Really bulging or swelling, I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to send that back on itself. Slightly stroke the hammer back, and then round side of the hammer, just opening that up a little bit, making it look a bit smarter, like so. Okay, that's our hinges, our tong blanks roughed out. So this is the rough blank stage. Now I'm going to go on and do some slight refining on all of those sets. Okay, nibs. Now regardless of the nib you're making, it should taper down to a point, or almost a point. Well, I say this as if I'm an authority, and I don't actually have a good answer as to why I've been told that, but what I've always done is I've always brought the nib down into a point and chamfered the sides, like so. Now, what I need to do here is bring the nibs down, nibs to the same length, both of them. I'm matching these now basically. So this wants to come to the edge of my hardy hole from the near side of the anvil, so near side to me, to the edge of the hardy hole. So I'm going to go another heat on that. And if you've done everything correctly as well, your nibs won't be any wider than your starting stock, right? Unless they have to be, obviously. For example, with box jaws, you'd like to think that at some point they get wider. This is bananaing up a bit on me, so I'm just going to straighten it back up. This is twisted up ever so slightly, so I'm going to get that sorted, but we've got a ways to go yet. So before I untwist it, I'm just going to forge that down, but you can see how it tapers down. That needs to come to more of a point, yeah. Okay, so this nib's got itself a little bit out of line, and it's an easy fix, very easy fix. Just going to grab an adjustable spanner in the vise and straighten everything up. Just going to tidy up these reins. They're a bit lumpy bumpy from the hand forging process, so I'm just going to tidy them up under the power hammer, take some of the thickness out of them, and then they're done. Okay, so I've got the other half of the tong here, and I'm going to start doing exactly the same thing. I did for the first one, but now I've got the task of matching the two together. So what I'm going to do is just work through heats. I can't put these two to look the same. Okay, and then finally I'm just going to mark up the back of the rein, a distance that I know is preset. It's probably about 2.5 inches, 70-ish millimeters. But basically I'm going to put a mark, and then I'm going to come in with my hammer and start drawing this end out. It's a bit cold. The reason I'm doing this is that it's just going to bring these reins to a bit of a nice taper, so they're going to look a bit smart. But I'm also trying to match them all up to the same length, which I've got a mark on my anvil here. So I'm going to continue to draw these out and then get these nice and matched up. And then
Okay, so the next task is to set the offset on the reins. Now you can do this a couple of ways, and I show it a couple of ways in different videos. I would normally do this under the fly press, but if you haven't got a fly press, this is just a couple of pieces of steel welded together with the correct offset in. Obviously you can't use a top and bottom tool in the fly press because you just end up crushing your nibs up. So I'm using a set hammer here to get this done, but it works quite nicely. And then once you've managed to get that bit done, I can take this off of here, place this out the way for a moment, and then grab, drop that on the floor, that always helps. Then grab my hammer, and I can come in on the side here and just bend this down, and then a couple of nice solid thwacks on the anvil near the side, well, far side, it depends on how you're holding the stock. It tends to put that nice kink in there for you. Right, that's one done. Okay, I'm all done. This is the basic carcass, the basic blank that I will be using to finish off these sets of tongs. 2 of them are going to become the pickups, and 2 of them are going to become the hammer tongs. Now, if you're interested to find out how to do that, because there's probably been a lot of detail in these anyway, hang around to the end of the video. There'll be 2 options for you to click on. One will be for the grabbers, and one will be for the hammer tongs. So, I will see you later. Dan's going to do an outro and something like that, and yeah, that's everything. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Remember, there will be a video which will either contain both of the information to make these nibs, or there'll be a video for these nibs or these nibs. Hopefully I've managed to do that. We'll see how that works. The basic guts of that video the basic guts of this video are really good for lots of other pairs of tongs, which I will go over in the future. There may be some slight measurement changes, but if you've got the material there, you can just chop it off anyway. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a subscriber, please ring that bell for notifications, because it tells you every time I make videos. I make videos as often as possible. I try to get out at least one a week, and we do a live every other week on a Saturday. I'm really enjoying doing those as well. If you want to help support the channel in any way, shape or form, remember to share this video, drop a comment down below, and also you can go and check out my Instagram, where I post almost every day. I don't post every day, it just depends what I'm doing. Sometimes I put stories up, sometimes I post, but it gives you little snippets, inside glimpses of what's going on, stuff that's being made here, and how stuff's getting made, which you might not see in some of the videos. And then also go and check out my Etsy, where you can pick up tongs just like these, and all sorts of other things, lovely hammers, just like this one here, which hasn't got a handle on it yet, but you can go and buy all sorts of really cool stuff over there, from everything from stock all the way up to tools and t-shirts and all kinds of good stuff like that. So go and check that out. It's a great way to support the channel. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to leave a link up here to a video of the one set of nibs. I'll leave a link down here to the other set of nibs. Hopefully I managed to do that. This is a video that YouTube thinks you'll like, and this here is the subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.